A black man walked into a luxury car dealership and was treated poorly by the salesperson who had no idea he was the new owner. What happens next will surprise you and deliver a powerful lesson about respect and equality. Watch until the end to see how this story unfolds. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments where you're watching from. In bustling Manhattan, the streets were always filled with status-defining cars, gleaming SUVs, sleek sedans, and, of course, luxury sports cars that turned heads wherever they went. Among the renowned dealerships, Crown Motors stood out as one of the most exclusive, known for selling high-performance sports cars to celebrities and millionaires. That morning, the dealership appeared to be running business as usual. Salespeople adjusted their ties and flashed polished smiles at wealthy clients stepping inside. What no one knew, however, was that the day would mark a significant change. Nathan Carter, a 39-year-old black entrepreneur, had recently purchased Crown Motors. As the owner of a thriving tech company, Nathan had always been passionate about cars. But his motivation for buying the dealership went beyond personal interest. He was aware of how such spaces often judged customers based on appearances and was determined to make it a place where everyone was treated with respect. On that day, Nathan decided to visit the dealership undercover as an ordinary customer. Dressed casually in jeans, sneakers, and a plain black t-shirt, he wanted to observe how the staff treated someone who didn't fit the typical profile of a billionaire. As Nathan walked in, he could feel the eyes on him. He moved slowly around the showroom, admiring the pristine models on display: Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Bugattis, all polished to perfection. He had barely approached one of the cars when he was intercepted by Josh Miller, a white salesman in his 40s dressed in an expensive suit. Josh exuded the confidence of someone who believed he was indispensable to the dealership. "Can I help you?" Josh asked, his tone more of a test than an offer. "Yes, actually," Nathan replied, pointing at a Lamborghini Huracan Spider priced at over $300,000. "I'm interested in this model." Josh glanced Nathan up and down before responding, "That's one of our most expensive models." "Are you sure you're in the right place?" Nathan frowned slightly but remained composed. "I'm sure I am." Josh forced a smile and crossed his arms. "Well, to drive something like this, we need to make sure you understand the financial commitment involved. It's not for everyone." Recognizing the passive-aggressive tone, Nathan decided to continue. "Don't worry about me. I'd like to take it for a test drive." Josh chuckled softly, as if the idea was absurd. "I'll check, but we don't offer test drives to just anyone." Nathan watched as Josh walked away, muttering something to a colleague who glanced at Nathan and laughed. It was a discomforting, familiar moment for Nathan, who had often been underestimated throughout his life. A few minutes later, Josh returned, still exuding condescension. "Unfortunately, that car isn't available for a test drive right now. Maybe you'd like to look at something more accessible." "More accessible?" Nathan asked, crossing his arms. "Why would you assume I can't afford this one?" Josh shrugged. "It's not that. I'm just being practical. These cars are more for, well, a certain type of clientele." Nathan took a deep breath. "And what exactly do you mean by a certain type of clientele?" Josh hesitated but tried to justify himself. "Only customers with a proven track record." "It's nothing personal." As Josh walked away again, Sophie Alvarez, a Latino administrative assistant, discreetly approached Nathan. "Can I help you?" Sophie asked, her smile warm and genuine. Nathan looked at her and nodded. "You can. It seems like service here is only for the right people." Sophie sighed, visibly uncomfortable. "I'm sorry about that. It's not the first time I've seen Josh act this way. He thinks he can decide who deserves attention." Nathan appreciated her honesty and offered a small smile. "Do you think the manager would approve of this behavior?" Sophie hesitated. "The manager is a little complacent, but he's reasonable. If you talk to him, maybe." Nathan thanked Sophie but knew he needed to handle the situation differently. Determined, Nathan stood by the car. When Josh returned, Nathan said, "I still want to drive this. Is it available or not?" Clearly irritated, Josh shook his head. I'm not authorizing this test drive for you. If you'd like, I can show you something simpler. Nathan raised his eyebrows. So you're saying I'm not good enough for this car? Josh offered a forced smile. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to save you time. Nathan stared at Josh for a moment before speaking. Then I'll save you some time. I'd like to speak to the manager now. The dealership manager, David Cross, arrived at the showroom minutes later. He looked confused as he approached Nathan, who stood firm. Is there a problem? David asked. There is, Nathan said. I'm Nathan Carter, the new owner of this dealership. I came here today to observe how customers are treated, and your employee here has failed miserably. A stunned silence filled the showroom. Josh froze, his face pale, while Sophie watched Nathan with admiration. New owner? Josh stammered. That's right. And now I'd like to discuss how this place will be run from now on. David quickly apologized. Mr. Carter, I'm so sorry about what happened. I had no idea you'd be visiting today. Nathan crossed his arms. Who I am doesn't matter. What matters is that every customer should be treated with respect. He turned to Josh. And you clearly don't understand that. Nathan took a deep breath before continuing. Let me be clear, what happened here today wasn't just a customer service mistake. It's a reflection of an outdated mentality that no longer has a place in this dealership. The other employees remained silent as Josh tried to defend himself. I was just doing my job. It wasn't personal. Not personal? Nathan stepped closer, his voice firm. You looked at me and decided, based on my appearance, that I couldn't afford this car. You disrespected me and everyone who has ever been judged unfairly because of people like you. Josh looked around for support, but none of his colleagues came to his defense. Mr. Carter, I can change. It was just a misunderstanding. Change is important, Nathan replied, but you've already shown you're not fit to represent what I want for this dealership. Pack your things and leave. Josh hesitated but saw there was no alternative. He walked out in silence, leaving behind an atmosphere of respect and awe for Nathan. After Josh's departure, Nathan addressed the remaining staff. This dealership now has a bigger purpose. I want every person who walks in here to feel respected and valued, no matter their appearance or what they're wearing. From today, everyone working here must understand that the customer is more than a sale, they're the reason we're here. Turning to Sophie, he added, Sophie, your attitude today exemplified what I want this dealership to stand for. That's why I'm promoting you to supervisor. Sophie's jaw dropped. Me? Supervisor? Yes, you. Because you demonstrated empathy, professionalism, and integrity in a difficult situation. Weeks later, the dealership reopened with a new team and a philosophy rooted in respect and inclusion. Nathan hosted a community event to show that Crown Motors was now a space for everyone. In an interview with a magazine, Nathan concluded, luxury isn't about price. It's about respect, and that's what this place represents now. This story reminds us that change begins with the courage to stand up.